All right, welcome back, Havoc Nation. Today we are doing our latest episode. I have a special guest that's going to help us with showing up, showing out, consistency. One of the big areas that a lot of us have as small business owners, consultant service providers. You know, that's a big issue for us. So today I have somebody in the house that's really going to help us get this together. So I'm going to introduce her and then I'm going to let her do her thing. Guys, today we're going to be meeting with Juliette Stapleton. She is known as the queen of visibility out here in these internet streets. She has been doing it for a super long time, and she's amazing at what she does. Just a quick cheat sheet about her. She, of course, is a thought leader. She has her own podcast called Show Up and Stand Out. So guys, check that out. It's streaming across all your favorite platforms. She teaches you how to be authentic, how to stand out with your target audience, how to relate, how to connect, and how to get the reaction that you want from your target audience. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get her introduced, and I'm going to start asking questions. So welcome to the podcast, Juliette. How are you doing today?
Hi, Demira. I'm so honored to be on your podcast today, and hello to everyone who is listening. Thank you for having me. Yes, let's get you guys visible. Yeah, let's get you guys show up and stand out as a result.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do, how you came about, how we got from there to here, where we are right now.
Absolutely. It's quite a long story. I'm going to make it very short. So
right.
I consider myself a connection and content and connection strategist. More often, people like me are called visibility strategists. We are finding the ways to create more visibility for your business, because if you're running a business and you never leave a room that you're running your business from, right? And you never meet anybody, you never see anybody, you never talk to anybody, you will have zero clients, because people work with people, and we have to build some sort of relationships and networking and create those relationships that bring us clients. But I go deeper than that, because for a very long time, and this is some of the story of how did you get from that to this, and part of the story is me being a magnet for horrendous clients for about 6 years. When I started my business, then for the next 6 years, 5 or 6 years, everyone I worked with, even when they felt like okay in the beginning, that they ended up being nightmare clients. Why? The question was always for me, why? Because I'm an empath, I'm an introvert, I'm not really good with people in general. And for me, relationships is very important. Probably being liked is important. We all operate from either we want to be loved or we want our status, to elevate all the time. For me, being loved is important. I love happy world. This is part of my mission is I want people to be happy. I want people to be happy within themselves. I want people to be happy in relationships with other people. And that affects our businesses, and that affects our the energy, how we work with our clients. So for me, the whole thing of having an ideal client, and I like the expression perfect people. I didn't come up with that, but I've seen it online, and I said this is exactly what the ideal clients are. They're the perfect people. They're people who we are compatible on so much deeper level than just providing services for them. They're people who understand us. They're people who also accept us and forgive us when we make small mistakes. There are people who are open to seeing us as experts, and they're like your best friend, who is actually like you, who loves chatting to you, who is not judgmental, who is not there to use you or get you to do things cheap or things like that. And it's important to focus on attracting that kind of type of people. It's not so simple sometimes. If you're finding yourself right now in a position like I described, myself, say, several years ago, and I'm now 3 years into my visibility journey, where I decided, enough is enough. I need to find people who are not like these. And at the time I kind of blamed that it's just the local area and the local mentality, and I needed something bigger. So I turned to the internet, and I decided that if I can't meet people here that I like working with, maybe there's more out there. Of course there's more out there. We have 7 billion people on the planet. There's enough for everyone. So that's how I kind of started. But if you find yourself that you are attracting people like that, it's very hard sometimes to focus and say, but how can I just change this? Because usually it comes from vulnerability and anxiety, that you think that, well, if I let them go, the income is going as well. And it's, how am I going to replace this? How am I going to do?
Right.
But it's possible. And I'm a living testament to the fact that it is possible. However, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. But it's a journey. It's a journey of not just being visible online to attract more clients into your business, but it's a journey of empowerment, self-empowerment, a journey of when you start accepting yourself first. And you know how they say, put yourself first. And then if you want to love somebody, you need to learn to love yourself first. I absolutely truly discovered this through this whole journey of trying to be visible online to get clients and, you know, get a better life. And yet it changed my life. And so this is why I'm such a big ambassador for becoming visible, because there is just so much more behind that fear that we all have. And again, I need to stress that I am an extreme introvert. I literally have no friends in real life. All my friends are online people, because introverts only feel good around people who are, you know, very highly compatible with them. You know, when people are not compatible, it feels, and as an empath as well, I feel like, you know, my energy is being drained, and it's just really unpleasant experience that then I take home with me. And so just to eliminate that, I had to come online. And yes, you can meet amazing people, and it's about really building relationships that way beyond just business, but it's amazing for business, because you do end up attracting people who love you, adore you, accept you, you know, listen to every word you say, you know. And this is kind of the perfect world, but it can happen. And it happens through you showing up and over time exercising consistently, exercising that visibility. Visibility means pushing through a lot of personal resistances.
Right.
And so through pushing resistances, we expand our comfort zone. We are becoming bigger versions of ourselves. We're discovering better ways of dealing with people, with ourselves, and actually discovering better ways to live. And so this is where the queen of visibility just sort of came about. Some people were just calling me like this, and at some stage in my you know journey, and my brand was kind of already, and I love bright colors, you know, I have my fuchsia pink, and I have my gold, and I have my black. And then when people started calling me, she's like, oh, she's the queen of visibility, because I dominate my audience's newsfeed. So if you're following me, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, I am there all the time. Consistency is important, and also with social media, frequency is the name of the game. It's not actually like super duper quality. Sometimes it's literally, you just need to be seen all the time, so your image is on top of mind, you know. And this is what it's basically a brand awareness approach to advertising in a way, you know, when you are just positioning yourself in front of people all the time. And so when they, or if they need what you're offering, you're the first one in their mind. You're the first one, because you're just there all the time. And those who are not interested in what you are, what you have to offer, those who are wrong people for you, they will naturally not follow you, because you will repel them. And that's good. So you never need to worry about, you know, offending somebody or say something that somebody will not like. Let them not like it, and let them go away with their opinions, because at the end of the day, there's 7 billion people in the world. There is a sea of your perfect people out there. Just show up, be true to yourself. You don't need to be, it doesn't have to be in a controversial kind of way, but you will naturally polarize your audience to, you know, to two groups: people who like you, and people who love you and adore you, and your unicorns, and then the rest, and you don't care about the rest.
Wow, that was a word. All right, Havoc Nation, I did not do what I normally do before we get started, and that means take notes. She just dropped some serious nuggets, and we're just getting started. So take a moment, get your pen and piece of paper. From here, it's going to be nothing but nuggets. So let's continue with our next question, which is, well, you kind of already answered it, but I'm just going to give you a second just to like maybe solidify anything. And that is, who do you help?
Very good question. I help business owners who want to be visible. It actually doesn't really matter what, if they sell products, if they sell services, if they're coaches, consultants, service providers, as long as they're ready to step onto the stage as who they are. They don't want to hide behind the logo of their business or the business name, and because that's where they're really missing out, because people don't buy from logos, people buy from people.
That's
you
right.
know, so that's, if you're ready to step up and with your face attract people and attract the perfect people and want that transformation that I just described, that's where I can help you. I help people build personal brand. And if you actually think about names like Steve Jobs and Apple, you know, we don't have Steve Jobs now. Apple is nowhere near where they were, where they had a person, recognizable person and a name to their
That's
company.
true.
You know, there is just the identity is missing now.
Right.
So this is just as an example. You know, you can become that for your business. Even if you have a business that's successful and you haven't been doing this, you know, you haven't been building a personal brand. First of all, it's very fulfilling because actually you get to say what you want and you get to people to listen to you, and you will attract people who agree with you. And it's just such a fulfilling thing. Why is it so important to create connections? This is again a scary part. If you're like me, you don't talk to strangers, you're not really good at networking events face to face. Yes, this is me, right? However, building relationships is how we attract those perfect people. So it's not good enough to just show up and create content and talk at people. It is important to talk to people one-on-one. I know it sounds scary because we have billions of people on social media, but you will not be talking to billions of people. You just talk to one person at a time, you know, and you control exactly how many conversations you want to have, you know, a week with people. You can have 5 conversations, 10, 20. It's up to you how big you're going to go. But when you reach out to somebody, and when I say conversations, guys, I'm not giving you any sales techniques here, because the best sales technique is to connect. It's the best sales technique. When you tap somebody on the shoulder, you say hello, you talk a little bit, like acknowledge that they're not just a profile picture, not just some account on social media. Acknowledge them that they're real people. Spend 3 seconds on their profile, see something. Maybe they shared a picture of their dog, or maybe, you know, talk about something that you see from visually that you might connect. Maybe they were on holidays in a beautiful place and you like travel, and you can say, I loved that picture that you posted. Just acknowledge them. They're posting, they're spending time and energy. We need to just give them a little bit validation that, you know, somebody liked it. You know, we appreciate you in this world, right? So that's all you need to do. And this is humanly, it's a nice thing. It's like, you know, you meet somebody you don't know, and you say, hey, how are you? And then maybe sometimes you say, oh, I love your top. I love your, you know, how you sometimes pay a compliment to a complete stranger.
Yes.
And that creates friendships and relationships. That person will feel so flattered. You know, if somebody comes up to me and says, Juliette, oh, or even not Juliette, they don't know me yet, and they'll say, oh my God, I love your hair. That's it, I'm sold. I'm sold. What are you selling? True. I'll buy it. Because you just said you love my hair, you know, and that's how we all are. But yet we don't like being sold on to. So, you know, when you're just on social media and all you see is a photograph, it's easy to assume that this is just a photograph. It's easy to assume there's nothing behind it, but there is a real person behind it, with real complex personality, with feelings, with, you know, agendas, with thoughts. No need to be scared. Like in real life, you know, anyone can be a maniac that you're passing in the street.
That is
you
true.
know, you don't know, but you don't need to get paranoid about it. You know, you still kind of do your thing. But talking to people is important, and so talking to people in Messenger is important. Just a small validation. Doesn't have to be daily conversation with the same person. It's never going to happen like this. You know, it's just say hello. Comment on their posts, you know, and by the way, just liking these days is not enough. You need to really show a little bit extra. And if you want Facebook to give you more Facebook love in a way and show your posts to more people, and, you know, you need to give, you know, so it's not like a law or the rule how the algorithm works, but what I've seen, and really my students also noticing, that the more active you become on Facebook, the more active people become to you as well. It works on several levels. First of all, it's a human, you know, level, that I comment on your post and you feel flattered, you comment on my post, that's fine. But Facebook also starts showing your posts to more people, and because it likes to reward users who are active on its platform, you know. So if you're using Messenger more often, Facebook will like this. You know, it's like, in general, if you strategically think about how can I see more people, that's how, you know, just become more active. Now, there's a question that arises from this, and I don't know if you have it on your list, but so far I've been talking about Messenger, and I've been talking about I've been talking about the algorithm, how people see you. And yes, I'm talking about your personal profile, guys. I'm talking about the scary area here, that dark room in the back of the house. It's your personal profile, because the personal profile, you can't sell on it, like you can't go to post picture, to post things and say, buy from me now. It's not allowed, right? But what you can do, absolutely, is use it strategically to build a profile for you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and talk about it. Not sell, but talk about it. It is a form of indirect selling, because those people who are interested and they want what you have, you can direct them. You can either say, well, join my group, or check out my business page, or send me a message, and you can create relationships. But I found, because on Facebook, particularly, and in terms of how the algorithm works and the reach, so how many people see your posts, when you're posting something on the business page, unless you're using Facebook ads in a strategic way and you know what you're doing, which is the hardest part, right? So you're not wasting money. Nobody pretty much sees the post, right? So it's literally like running a business. If you have an office or you have a home office, and if you're trying, maybe you'll have a couple of phone calls, yes, but you're still very invisible. That's what business page is like, right? Whereas when you're with your personal profile, that's virtual representation of you. So you are there, you can go to a little, town hall meeting, you can go there, like supermarkets, you talk to people. That's what's happening. And how many conversations, and even businesses, how many businesses or business relationships start from parties where people just start talking? Because when you're passionate about your business, that's all you're talking about. I know I talk about my business 90% of my, time of my life. So these days. Yeah, so so many we do business over lunches, we do business over, we start talking about, we network on the parties, because it's not a you have to network atmosphere. Not everybody does well on the actual proper networking events. I think the introverts don't do well, and so this is how you can see it in a different way. Here, there is a little bit more relaxed thing. You don't need to be desperate. It's not all about business. It's about just building relationships one at a time. I do help business owners who want to show up, but I also encourage them to use their personal profile for building that visibility that empowers themselves, and practicing that, and then using the best of the content that they have on their business page, and the salesy content you can use on your business page, of course. And that way they can then maybe play, if it was a video with a sales page, you can play watch party on your personal profile without breaking any rules whatsoever. So there are so many things that you can use with using your personal profile and building that. It's a brand awareness campaign.
Havoc Nation, if you're not taking notes, you got to take notes. She's given us so many nuggets so far that we can literally use at the conclusion of this podcast, and we haven't even got to the sweet pot yet. So make sure you're taking those notes. But I wanted to ask you one more question. Actually, two more questions, if you have time. Two more questions for me. And the first one is, can you give me 3 tips for someone who is trying to get their personal profile out there? Like you said, that we can use it to like market our business, but not market our business. So what would be 3 tips to kind of get us started on that path and kind of help us get that going? Because I do use my Facebook personal profile, and it's kind of monetized, but I think you could probably really help us take that to the next level here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So here's the strategy for you. I don't know if it's going to go into 3 or more, but there is the strategy. So the 3 elements, I'll give you 3 elements that you need to focus on your personal profile. And you can do that you take that as well to your business page or whatever, to the group, but you have to, there's 3 ways not 3 ways, 3 elements to creating that, to monetizing what you're doing, and creating that strong brand. First, you need to build emotional connection with your people. So how do you do that? With 2 ways. You produce content from the heart, you write things, you share opinions, you have to be strategic about it, right? And you create connection, you talk about things that make you a brand. So your values, why you're doing what you're doing, what makes you an expert. And don't be afraid, it's not like this is something that creates anxiety in people, like, what do you mean, like imposter syndrome kicks in? But don't worry about it, because unless you actually talk about, yes, this is what I know, this is how it made me an expert, if you don't say it, nobody will. You have to step into that. Some people say, oh, I don't want to share my testimonials without sounding braggy. Well, you have to brag, guys. There's so much noise out there. Unless you show up and say, this is me, this is what I do, this is who I help, and this is how I can help you. That's the only way for us to show up. So if you have any reservations, fears, or anything, you have to do inner work and step into build that confidence, because and confidence is not like something that you can just achieve. It's a process. It's like doing something small every day. So start with content. You need to start with planning. You need to approach this as part of your job, because marketing, especially if you're growing your business, marketing should be 80% of what you're doing. So you writing content on your personal profile is the same marketing as anything else, and you need to put yourself time, block the time, sit down, plan. I teach a lot of planning strategies within my programs, but there's loads of out there as well, so you can plan what you're going to do. You can plan once a week, maybe for the week ahead. You can even write those posts. First plan though. Don't write while you're planning, because it's going to distract you. Plan what you're going to do. It doesn't all have to be long, huge posts or, big videos or trainings. No, sometimes it could be just, share something funny cat, because this is a party. We can laugh. We can just be, we can be social, but you have to always think that, if you share something serious, you will get a little less engagement. Sometimes people just read and they forget to comment or something. They just, process this. But then you want engagement as well, because you need to boost the algorithm to just say to Facebook that everybody loves what you're doing. So that's one of the funny things. You can ask people like random questions. One of my popular posts, sometimes I posted it twice already, and both times it was so popular. I asked people, what color socks are you wearing? And you won't believe it. People were taking photographs and commenting with the color of the socks. And it's just everybody wants to share about the color of the socks. And you wouldn't think, but strategically, it's brilliant to have, it's brilliant to have that, because next day I'm posting about my live video challenge, and so many more people see it, because the day before there was so much engagement on my post that Facebook says, this user is very active. I'm going to show their post to everybody else. So this, you can strategically think about this and have a mixture of content that some of it is serious and some of it is not serious. Some of it is your marketing message, and some of it is just human message, like human things that just connect you, or sometimes just share some things. You don't have to share your private life. I'm actually extremely private. You don't have to share your private life, but you can share what you believe in. You can share, what makes you you. And we all have, go past the small talk. Go into that deep area, and don't be afraid, because there's people out there who need to listen to this. They need to hear that they're not alone. And so sharing there's just multitude of layers, why it's so beneficial for you. It feels good, but also for other people, because it feels good sometimes to read something, when you read somebody sharing, say that they're struggling. Say, for example, you're struggling to be consistent on social media, and then I would make a post and say, well, guys, you know what? Struggle never ends, because we're always dealing with resistance, and we're always dealing with procrastination, and it's creating processes, and this is what helped me. That kind of post, you say, oh, hang on a second, Juliette is the queen of visibility, and she's saying that she sometimes feels this struggle too, because we're all human, right? We only learn to manage the resistance and manage procrastination, create processes that make it easy. But we're not superhumans. We're just the same. So it's important to share, because, and also that's how your clients resonate with you, because, they see that you're a person who is thinking the same way, maybe struggling or going through the same things, or went through the same things in the past. It depends on, of course, of what your business is, but these kind of things. So if you plan ahead and then create this post, if you can, don't rely that you're going to post as you get inspired, because sometimes you might just, something can interfere and you literally don't have the time, right? So it's always good. That's one thing. But the other thing as well, the other part of this first emotional connection is what we were discussing earlier, and it's reaching out. So you need to send out friend requests to new people, and start with people who you share something in common. For example, groups. If you took part in any paid programs, people, just befriend everybody in that group, because this is something like those people, if it's paid program, they're already open to invest. That's, for example, if you're doing something like a coaching or something. Always think about something complementary to what you are doing. You don't need to look for people. For example, if you are a consultant and you are teaching digital marketing, don't start befriending people who are in the group trying to learn about digital marketing that somebody else runs, that you kind of your competitor. Because not only it's not authentic, but it's just, they're already following this person for a reason, because there's a personal connection, right? But if you, for example, go in and maybe one of your interests is, I don't know, maybe you like energy, and maybe you follow somebody like tarot readers, I don't know, someone like energy work, right? Abraham Hicks or someone like that, although it's completely not what I said before, but anyway, the name came in. Maybe you follow Abraham Hicks. Well, make friends in those groups with people who are business owners, so connect by interests you have and things that you share that might not be anything to do with your business. Maybe you are a huge dog lover and you're part of some dog lover groups. Maybe that, check people's profiles out, see if there's some people who are business owners, because trust me, especially with loving dogs and cats and things like that, we connect so much when we know. I had for 10 years, I had a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that I've rescued. So if somebody who I see, I check out their profile and I see a picture of Staffy, I'm sold already. If I find out that Staffy is a rescue, I'm sold already. I don't even know what this person is like. They had the dog, so this is how, and it's so natural to us to connect on these kind of little terms. So we need to just step up, just forget about the business a little bit, and don't have that desperate, I want clients energy, and start connecting to people just to connect to people that you can jive with, that you have the great vibration between, right? So you expand your friends list, but you also send them messages when they accept your friendship. And if you don't remember where you connected to them, again, I have loads of strategies that I teach inside my programs about how to track it. But even if you don't remember, you see somebody accepted your friend request, go to their profile. It takes 5 seconds, and then you have something to talk about, and you say, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I just saw you posted about such and such. That was great. That's all you need to say. That's all. Literally, it's so simple. And if I could learn how to do it, you can do it. I can guarantee you that, because it wasn't easy for me. I'm not naturally someone who just does even small talk like this. So it's just kind of, I think it has to do with experiencing this and then seeing for yourself that actually it's much simpler. We don't need to have these business hats on us all the time. And trust me, you attract amazing people into your business, and much faster when you are not in that sort of sell mode all the time. So this is emotional connection. But then we have another 2 elements. I will cover them very quickly. The other element, and this is what a lot of people are not focusing on because of they're afraid, they have the imposter syndrome, they think who they are, is to build your profile as an authority. So start writing. Write for online publications. There are some online publications that is so easy to write for, like medium.com. They don't check who you are. They don't, don't need to pitch. You don't need to anything. However, when you write for somewhere else, you already are a writer. You're an author, right? So you add that adds authority to your name. You say, yes, seen on medium.com. Not everybody knows that it's easy to be published in Medium. So you use that to build your, to build that position of authority, because people perceive us based on these little facts that they see that we present to them. Like a logo of Medium on your cover of Facebook cover somewhere will instantly adds that level of authority that people say, oh, there's somebody, as seen on, there's somebody. When sometimes you see a bunch of logos as seen on, and actually if you look deep, if you closely look, you don't even know any of those logos, they just look familiar, and still it instantly adds that impression. But if you don't focus on building your authority, and another way is being trying to get featured on podcasts, interviews. And if you don't know where to start your own Facebook interview. Invite friends first, some people that then you start kind of inviting better friends. I actually started with creating my show. I committed to 2 days a week. Every Tuesday and every Wednesday I had a live interview, and I started that 1 month into when I decided that I'm going to show up as myself. Literally within 4 weeks I created the show. show. I still have this show that we mentioned in the beginning. I renamed it after 1 year, but I have it now for the 3rd year running. And this is something that's built so many connections and positioned me instantly, even with the people I worked at the time, those imperfect clients I mentioned. And when I started showing up as a host of a show, their perception of me changed completely, and so did respect, and so did the way they treated me, and so did the way they paid me. So everything, you know, building that authority is important. And you don't need to be a super duper writer. I'm not even an English speaking person, and I write in English, and I'm now published in multiple online publications. When people don't see you as just another service provider, just another business owner, they see you as somebody. Trust me, everything changes. Everything changes. So focus on authority. So we've covered emotional connection, which is posting and connecting to people. We've covered authority. And of course, now we're coming to trust. And trust is where you share your expertise, and you also share how you help other people. If you don't, you know, if you're just starting your business and you don't have clients yet, you can still talk about how you yourself overcome this and that and solve this problem or do this. If you're, say, you're a service provider, maybe you can show how you do something. You know, it doesn't matter that you don't have clients, but if you have clients, you can talk about them. I know there's some highly regulated areas where you can't mention clients' names. Don't let that stop you, because being imperfect is fine. Nobody expects perfection. Remember, this is a big party, right? We're not watching a television channel here. This is a big party. People relate even more to those who are not so perfect than the ones that are very polished, because they are also intimidating, and there is a gap between them and their audience. So for me right now, I'm not in the gap area. Maybe someday I will be when I grow, you know, to opera size, you know, but at the moment, no. And I'm enjoying this because I'm actually enjoying much better and quicker conversions because of these relationships. But yes, so authority and trust and expert in terms of expert trainings. You can post little you can share some strategies or some nuggets that you have on your personal profile, because that's not selling, that's just, you know, sharing. And definitely do videos where you can talk about things, or share screen and show maybe a place of your business. And if you are running a business that has an office, or maybe you have staff, you know, like brick and mortar business, definitely create videos from inside your premises. People love seeing other people. They love seeing your staff because they build connections. For example, I love going for coffees. You know, coffee time with my husband is my precious time of the day. People work with people. This is why I'm saying, you know, put your face to your business, because people work with people. You will attract much better people who will like you, who will want to be working with you, will accept you, forgive your errors if something happens, you know, and they won't be horrible to you, because there is a bigger connection. And so this is the 3 elements, basically.
This has been amazing. So why don't you tell us what you're working on right now?
Okay, perfect. Well, right now, it's not that I'm working on right now, but let's say there is a live video program. I call it a challenge, but it's not that one of those like 3-day, 5-day challenge. It's a program of 11 days. Why 11? Because in numerology, 11 is if you imagine the doors are 2 columns and you pass through them, and it's a new world, it's a new era, it's a new energy, it's like a next level. And that's why going through this program after 11 days, you're completely elevating yourself. And we do 8 days inside a private group to get people comfortable. We share about deep stuff. Now, I say challenge, but I challenge you because I want you to tap into your drive. I want you to tap into why you're running business, because to push through resistances, you really need to have that drive behind it. It's not so easy. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do live video, because they don't feel the need. So in order for us to do something we don't want to do, we need to understand, do we actually have this drive to do it? You know, what is the life of our dreams? We did not start our businesses to work so many hours and not see the light, and not spend enough time with our kids, or not being able to switch off at the end of the day, you know, and still think about work and the clients that we work because they're not perfect. And, you know, we didn't do that. We didn't start our business for that. We started our business because we thought we are going to have the life of freedom. or, life of massive recognition, or whatever is your drive. And this is important to remember, that everything we're doing, and sometimes we don't want to do things. We don't want to talk to strangers. We don't want to do live video. We don't want to write. We don't want to share. But at the end of the day, do we want the life of the freedom, and how much are we prepared to do for it? And trust me, nobody's going to throw stones at you if you do live video. They're just not going to happen. Like, I'm still safe. Nobody even ever abused me, except for this one guy that, I had a live stream, and I was wearing this like very tight sweater with, not very tight, sorry, it was very high neck sweater, and I like high necks, and he kept asking me to open my shirt. And I couldn't understand what shirt he was talking about. And that was the only kind of little distraction. That was my personal troll. He was also looking for some bobs. I don't know what he was talking about, but he disappeared then later. And this is just as an example, this is in my 3 years. That was the funniest thing that happened to me. Before I blocked him, I did take a screenshot of all the comments that he was making, but that's the only thing. And that was just random. And it was just, I didn't even have to look at the comments. And it's a real it's a real actually encouraging place, because when you start doing live videos, when you start showing up more, you will see that there's a lot of people who are actually, they are on your side. They're almost like they want to support you. And even if it's your mom, and even if it's somebody like in your family, because people say, well, yeah, but my clients are not engaging, it's friends and family. That's okay too, because you want people to boost that algorithm to be engaged in your posts. Because if your mom comments, and if your dad comments, and if your cousin comments, that's 3 people commented on your Facebook. Facebook doesn't know their family. They just think that you are so awesome that your content needs to be shown to everybody. So use that, and don't make excuses, because usually we tend to talk ourselves out of our dreams. Mm-hmm. And so all this resistance and all this, not seeing why is it important, it's actually just talking ourselves out of the dream. So inside the challenge, I'm giving you these topics that you can share inside the challenge, inside the little private group that we have, that you feel safe. And then the last 3 days, we're taking you into your personal profile, and then giving you very, very safe topics to talk about, nothing too deep, but still something that can create connection with your audience and introduce you gently. And then after the 11 days are finished, it's up to you how often you're going to commit. I really, really discourage people making these big claims and saying, I'm going to do it every day, because you really, you have to have, it's hard to do. Usually you would do it if you, I don't know, my husband was very unwell when I started, and that sort of kept me going, because I felt like I needed to share and I needed to have something going. But if it was now, I probably wouldn't commit. I did 30 days in a row, but I wouldn't do it now. I do twice a week on my personal profile. I do a couple of times in my groups. I definitely show up a lot in my page groups with my students. Support is what I pride myself on, and I do a training on my business page. Or if I did any good training inside my group, I repurpose it on my business page as well. So that's as much video as I do. But as long as you do it consistently, like if you do 3 videos here and there every week, or even 1 video but every week, that is so much easier to do. But people, it's like McDonald's ads, you're there. And your face is there, your face is recognized, then your face started being associated with what you're talking about, which like in my case is most of the time visibility. But even if you just introduce yourself, you're talking about something else, but you're introducing yourself and you're adding that keyword, what you're doing. That's it. The association is happening right there. Yeah. So if you want to break through, now it depends on when you're listening to this episode. We're starting next week with the live video challenge in this round, but I actually run it every 6 weeks. So you can always, and make sure that if you don't wait till the very end, register now. Places are limited, and then join us for the next round. And I guarantee you, there's so many people, literally, when I say that I help people reach millions and make millions, that's something that happened to some of the people who went through this challenge. And over time, then that happened. So it is there, you never know what awaits you when you show up.
True. Very true. All right, Havoc Nation, I'm going to make sure that we have those links in the description of wherever you are viewing this podcast. So refer to the description area so you can get the link to this challenge. You might see me in there.
I would love to. I absolutely would love to. Yeah, and it's very easy. And if you even just go livevideochallenge.online, not .com, .online.
.online.
You'll be there.
.online, guys. .online. Well, all right, Juliette, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me and Havoc Nation today. We appreciate you. All these nuggets you gave us today. I know I'm going to go back through this and take some notes myself, and I'm sure the nation's going to take some notes as well, because you gave us some excellent points to go back and use in our business. And again, I just want to say thank you. Do you have anything closing to say before we finish out?
Well, guys, don't expect that there's going to be something like really scary, and also that there's going to be something really groundbreaking tomorrow. A small step at a time will bring you to huge breakthroughs, but you just have to take that one little step. One small step is enough. You know, if you wrote a post today, one step is enough. You know, tomorrow you do a live video, one step is enough. And feel good about it. Just spend like 30 seconds really sitting there feeling good about it. You know, look at your videos. Even if you don't like the way you look on videos, look at your videos back, because you will learn to accept yourself when you do that. But look at it with an angle that you're going to enjoy. And even if you were, you know, stumbling in one part, but maybe you said something really good in the other part. So focus on that. You'll say like, that's great. I'm going to make a quote out of that, put it in a graphic, and actually put my name in and say, this is it. This is my quote. Send it out. And send it out. Like, own it. You deserve it, because everybody is unique and special in the world. Really, everybody deserves to be heard. And it's up to us to just let the world know that we are here with our voices. Hear us. let's hear us. So yes, and of course, if you want to also you want to get support, you don't want to join maybe Live Video Challenge, look up the group that I have. It's a free Facebook group called Social Media Visibility That Gets Clients, and I'll see you inside.
All right, guys. That link will be in the description as well, guys. All the links that we're talking about today will be in the description, so you guys can travel over there and get hooked up, get in the challenge, get in the Facebook group, and guys, let's get visible. Let's just get more visible. Let's make a claim to do that in 2020. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for listening. If you're watching, for watching as well. And I will see y'all next Tuesday. Thanks again for your support. Make sure you share this with a friend who needs it. And subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.